Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, we're going to talk about the sentence that Courtney Clenney got. Courtney Clenney, she unalive Christian Obumseli, and I knew something was up when they said it was a plea deal. But see, this is where I blame his family. Y'all did all that screaming online. You were demanding support, and a lot of people did not support because they saw how harshly he spoke about Black women online. And I believe it was over on Twitter. He was posting all this stuff, just all kinds of derogatory things about Black women. And the irony, it was a white woman that took his butt out, the very one he wanted so badly. And all we saw was her abusing him on video. Every time he turned around, she was throwing something at him. She was hitting him. She was smacking him. She was beating up on him in an elevator. All the abuse was coming from her. But this dude wanted a white girlfriend so bad, he sat there and took the abuse instead of saying, you know what, I'm not going to let you do this to me. He sat and took the abuse. You ain't married to this woman. You had no commitment to her. And she treated him like crap. Then she was also calling him the N word. And I remember she was telling her father on a call, she was calling him the N word to get rid of him. She was hoping that after calling him the N word a couple of times, he would just leave. And his ass didn't leave. He didn't leave. So you're trying to tell us that's better than having a Black woman? Really? Christian Obumseli, you are now in a permanent grave. And your girlfriend is walking after serving just 6 years. So they said she got 2 more years, y'all, and she literally can walk free. She can get right back on OnlyFans and get her millions of followers and everything like nothing ever happened. And she will do it because I think they said she was making over $1 million a year. So yeah, she'll get that. She'll definitely get it. So 6 years. 6 years. So there'd be no trial because of the plea deal. So there is no trial because I was going to actually watch the trial if there was one. But don't be a fool for anybody that's abusing you. If you're being abused, leave. That person is never going to get better. They're not. They're not going to get better. They'll talk all that, go, oh, I'm going to do it again and all that stuff, and they always do it again. So if Christian Obumseli used some common sense, then perhaps he would still be here today. But since he didn't have any common sense, he's gone. Now, we know he was a Nigerian guy, and after he was unalive, I know his family was screaming for justice. And as far as I'm concerned, 6 years is not justice. That's not justice at all. Mm-mm. And, you know, of course, her parents are still on that. Oh, she was being abused. No, she was the abuser. She was definitely the abuser. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and share my screen so you can see what happened in court with her. And I love how our sisters got online and responded to this. I love it. I love it. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Now, I didn't hear about his family getting any money. Now, of course, you know, it could be a civil suit coming, you know. A lot of times it is after these verdicts. There's also a civil suit that's filed, and yeah, they probably will squeeze some money out of her. Thank you for the ones.
To the charge of manslaughter with a deadly weapon. I'm sentencing you to 6 years in the state prison with all applicable credit for time served, followed by 5 years of reporting probation. As a condition of that probation, you will complete a mental health evaluation and all required treatment deemed necessary. You will complete a substance abuse evaluation and complete all required treatment deemed necessary, as well as completing the batter's intervention program within the first year of probation.
Well, they're going to learn one day, but until then, I know last week I had mentioned that Courtney Clenney, this is her now, this was her then, took a plea deal in this case with Mr. Obumseli here, where he was unalived by her, and she claimed that it was self-defense. Well, she took a plea deal for manslaughter. She was given 6 years in prison with 5 years of probation. However, she's already been locked up for 4 years. So they're giving her time served on the 4 years. For all intents and purposes, she'll be out of jail within a year and a half to 2 years for the unaliving of this man. His family was there in the courthouse watching, and their attorney states that, you know, hopefully this is some closure for them. I don't see how unaliving your child and a person only getting 6 years is closure for you, but whatever. But, you know, may he rest in preference, because he had a lot of things to say about Black women, what kind of people we were, and how, you know, white women were top tier, and he ended up losing his life at the hands of one. So not really our business, but since I did talk about the fact that she took a plea deal, I wanted to come back and give the update that we now know the terms, and girl will be out of jail in about 2 years, and we'll go on and live her life and probably go right on back to OnlyFans, and won't have any issues making money, because there's going to be a lot of men on there happy to pay her, and just getting off on the fact that she unalived a Black man and basically got away with it. So, but this is what y'all want. Well, some of y'all. So.
Damn. I would be smiling too, though, if I had just got off for stabbing my boyfriend to death. I declare, honey, what a disgrace, baby. Courtney Clenney is going to be out of the clink in 2 years after being sentenced to just 6 years in the clink for murdering her boyfriend in 2022. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea, have a seat. Let's get into it. So 30-year-old Courtney Clenney had initially faced a second-degree murder charge in the death of her then-boyfriend, 27-year-old Christian Manslaughter. Now, Christian was stabbed to death in the couple's apartment on April 3rd, 2022. Now, Courtney wasn't initially arrested for what happened in that apartment, even though she admitted that she did it, but she claimed self-defense. So after she was arrested, which I believe was a few weeks later, she was charged with second-degree murder, and she's been behind bars ever since then. So the bomb dropped last week that they had offered her a plea deal. And today prosecutors actually went through with it and gave her 1 count of manslaughter with a deadly weapon. Now, that is a first-degree felony that is punishable up to 30 years in the clink. But baby, Courtney's attorneys was able to negotiate.
N-word. Oh, yeah, he's feeling good right now.
Courtney only received 6 years in prison for manslaughter and a plea agreement for stabbing her boyfriend, claiming that it was self-defense. Now, she was originally charged with second-degree murder, and because of the plea agreement, she will only spend about, say, a year left in jail. She has been locked up since 2022, while Carmelo Anthony received a 35-year sentence, even though he will not serve it, for self-defense, stating that he felt like he was at risk for stabbing. The same type of charge. When I tell you this system is only designed for black and brown, because there is no way that this lady killed a man and only got 6 years. And she finna get out. I'm talking about as soon as they calculate her sentence and she hit DOC, she gonna be getting right back out. Life going back to normal. The family is gonna be devastated because they're trying to say 6 years, that's it, nothing else. I mean, she can go back to doing OF and get off because she killed a man, and just so happened it was a black man. But y'all know what to do. Get in the comments. Let's go. This is crazy. I'm talking about ridiculous. I mean it. I don't get it at all.
Greetings from my office. Listen, if you hear anything whirling, that's just my fan, because where I'm at, it's hot. Listen, I just wanted to come to you all to let you all know that Courtney Clenney, aka the OnlyFans murderer, has been convicted. She accepted a plea deal that offered her 6 years in prison, then 5 years probation. This was accepted by her defense team, the prosecution, and today it was accepted into the court reports from the judge. We heard victim impact statements from Christian Ubumseli's family. We also heard the statement of record that the family wanted to put in, letting Courtney Clenney know the impact of their family member's death. We heard from Courtney Clenney answer a series of questions about entering into this plea deal. Now, if you're not aware, Christian Ubumseli and Courtney Clenney, Christian Ubumseli was pruned from the timeline by Courtney Clenney back in April 2022. This happened in Miami, Florida. She has been in lockup for the past 4 years. So in essence, she'll get about another year and a half in prison, in jail. I don't know if they're going to move her to the prison or she's going to stay in jail. I don't know exactly how they're going to work that out, the county jail. But she has about another year and a half on her sentence of being locked up, and then she'll be able to get out. Now, she is originally from Texas, so she may go back to Texas and she may go back to OnlyFans. I don't know. But what do you all think? Now, over here on TikTok, there was the family was trying to rally everybody on social media to help get the word out to help get this girl in jail, because at that point when the pruning happened, she was still out and she was at a rehab center or something like that. And the family was trying to get the social media, Twitter, TikTok, IG, Facebook, everybody to rally for the family. And at that time, there was the instance of the fact that Christian Ubumseli had made it very clear in his tweets, in his IG posts, in any and all of those types of posts that he was a man whose preference were white women. But the family was trying to get a lot of black folks to rally behind them. And that kind of panned out. And then there was this discourse about, oh, well, we shouldn't, should we support a family, even though the son was saying that he didn't like black folk, he didn't like black women, black American women, and black American men. Now, mind you, Christian Ubumseli is my understanding. I think his parents are either from Ghana or Nigeria, not sure which one, that he wasn't too fond of us. And so therefore, folks was like, well, if he wasn't too fond of us, he needs to go to the people that he was fond of and to get the white women to rally around him. And sure enough, there were no white women rallying behind him. So his family literally had to do all of this by themselves, probably with their community that they had over in Texas. And that's fine. But what do you all think? Also, which was interesting, that the judge made it very clear that she will not be able to profit from this case, and that if she wanted to appeal it, she can appeal that portion of it, but she couldn't appeal her guilty plea that she was putting in. She couldn't appeal anything because she pled guilty. So that means she waived her right to an appeal for the case, but she could appeal whether or not that she can profit off here. And 9 times out of 10, the appellate court is not going to allow for her to profit from this crime. So what do y'all think? Put it down in the comments. Do you think that this was fair? Now, let me also, before I let you all go, to let you know my thoughts about this. I believe that the prosecution could have argued for 10 years. However, I think the prosecution messed up because of the previous case. Well, the prosecution had arrested Courtney Clenney and Courtney Clenney's parents for tampering with evidence or obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence due to a laptop that belonged to Christian Ubumseli, and that was in the physical custody of the parents. If they hadn't botched that case up, and that with that botch up, it led for one of the prosecuting attorneys to be removed from the case and to be disciplined because they broke the law in terms of client attorney privilege, that they were privileged. The text messages that led them to find that there was a laptop were protected under client attorney privilege, and they violated that client attorney privilege. But with that botch, I think that they could have at least done 10 to 15 years, and she would have got time credit for that. But because they botched that up, and I think that they were afraid to go into court with that looming over their head. So they went ahead and accepted the 6-year plea deal, which is going to get her out in a year and a half. So y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Because Courtney Clenney is going home in a year and a half. Shoot, her and Diddy be getting out at the same doggone time.
Courtney Clenney received 6 years in prison for the unaliving of her boyfriend. Hey guys, it's your girl Gentray Hay, and the verdict has been read for the sentencing for influencers and OnlyFans models Courtney Clenney and the unaliving to her boyfriend Toby, also known as Christian. So if you forgot about this case or never heard of it, basically back in 2022, she was an influencer, and he was too. His name is Christian, but people called him Toby. He was found unalived in their Miami condo. She said that it was self-defense, and she until he came to his injuries. She also mentioned that she threw the knife and it hit him, and it was just very inconsistent. They didn't arrest her at first, but she was later arrested while vacationing in Hawaii after the fact. So she took a plea deal, and that dropped her charges down to manslaughter with a deadly weapon. And because of the time served, she literally could be getting out in less than 2 years. That's one heck of a plea deal. Like, that is probably will go on record as like one of the best plea deals I've ever heard of in the case of, unaliving somebody. I mean, she'll be out before she's 35. She just turned 30. So very interesting.
So Courtney Clenney did have her plea deal hearing this morning. They did go ahead over the time frame they were going to give her. Definitely was off, okay, because I think I said 10 to 15 years or something like that. Child, they bust out and gave her 6 years. Didn't see that length of time coming. 6 years, that's it. That's how y'all have fun. Anywho. Yeah, but they did go ahead and change the indictment to manslaughter. She was originally charged with second-degree murder. They did go ahead and change the indictment to manslaughter, which had a time frame of up to 30 years in prison. They did go ahead and say, we're going to give you 6 years inside. She has already completed 4 years, and then she will have to do 5 years of probation after she is out. She will also be required to do a substance abuse program and a mental health program as far as things to, work on. Hopefully that will help with her behavior. We definitely know it is of importance. Now, she did go ahead and say in court that she was responsible for stabbing her boyfriend, Christian, who unfortunately passed away in April of 2022 after this incident did take place. So she did go ahead and say that in open court that she knows she was responsible for, the stabbing that actually ended his life. Now, her family was in court. I did not see anything that said if Christian's family or support system was in court this morning as well. I do hope that they were, but I didn't see them or any reports about them. They did show her parents when they were entering into the courtroom and all of that stuff, because we of course know there's been a lot of controversy with her parents and trying to go through the parent stuff and all of that jazz. Just throwing anybody under the bus. So we know there was a lot of controversy with her parents as well in this case. So they were in there in support of their daughter, of course, but she only got 6 years. So she only have 2 years left at this point because she has already completed 4 years in there. So hopefully she'll stay out of trouble the last 2 years. And then when she has her 5 years of probation, hopefully that does not go, awry. But that is what they have decided to do with her. Definitely less time than I thought. I definitely thought it was going to be around the 10-year range. Didn't think it was going to be too long, okay? Honest to tell you. But I did think it was going to be a little bit longer than what they gave her. So it is what it is. On to the next one. I am Keisha. The channel name is Court with Keisha.
Okay. There you go. So she'll be out probably sometime in 2028. Yeah, that is around the time Diddy is getting out. 2028. And like I said, she'll just get back on OnlyFans, and that one lady was right. She killed a N-word, so they probably will be loading her down with money. She got away with it. 6 years, that ain't no punishment. That ain't no punishment. But you know what, y'all? She ain't acting out in that prison. See, she was acting the fool with Christian Obumseli. I promise you, she wasn't around all them other inmates acting, showing her behind up in there. She wasn't doing that. Okay? Which tells you she know how to act when she wants to. She ain't challenging those inmates because they would have got her by now. All right. So she got a case of act right up in that prison. Yeah. Well, see, she first went in there screaming self-defense. And now the plea deal, she's taking full responsibility for what she did. And she ain't no longer, she no longer was hollering self-defense. Yeah, well, that's on them. Unfortunately, there's probably some of our men that are running around still trying to date these women, despite the fact that we have seen these tragedies before. And there are probably going to be more that we will see in the future, because some people will never learn. They will never, ever learn. And I would not even be shocked, y'all, in the year she gets out, some other melanated dude will be trying to hook up with her. I would not be shocked. And yes, I do think some are crazy enough to do it, even after what happened to Christian Obumseli. I think some are so crazy they would carry their butts out there and still try to date her. For real. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I do have one more live that I'm getting together but that might come out a little later today, possibly like around 5 or 6 o'clock. So I thank you for your support. I thank you for being here. Don't forget to pick up your hair products, and y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Shalom, family.